Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fabulous review from the techgooch. This week, I'm taking you into out of the realm of, well, I guess it is kind of an accessory for an iPhone or even an Android phone or an iPad or something like that. But something that'll actually get us into the season now that we're coming out of winter and into spring. Although here in Iowa, it seems to be taking its sweet time into the fitness season. And with this, I am actually talking about a fitness tracker called the Fitbit. This is the Fitbit One. They actually have a new one, the wrist version, of course, but this is going to be over the Fitbit One, which actually still is their most useful one, I guess, has the most features in it. Kind of go through the features and how I use it and so on and so forth. But with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So here we are back at my fabulous dining table, and we're going to go ahead and go over some of the features that the Fitbit goes. But first, before I get into that, I'm going to show you, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video, but I actually have a black one now. But this is my very first Fitbit one that I had. I bought one for my wife about just after Thanksgiving time to get her. Obviously, she likes to track her fitness things, and she was doing a lot of tracking with her meal app, My Fitness Pal, and she actually tracks her meals and everything like that, and all of her how much calories she intakes and things like that. And so I thought, you know what? I know she monitors every walk she does with the GPS with like Runkeeper, things like that. But you know, when she's around the office, things like that, during the day, she doesn't really have a way to keep track of how much calories and energy she's burning during the day. So I thought I'd give her a little fitness tracker. So I got it for her. She had it for about a week, 2 weeks. Basically let me know how much she liked it, and I thought, you know what, I actually do work at Best Buy, so I can get a pretty good discount on it, so I got one of these for myself. And you know, right out of the gate, I'm actually amazed by the battery life. Battery life on these things, that is such a plus for Fitbit. And now I'm sure probably all the trackers, the little trackers out there do similar, but we're getting like almost 2 weeks out of a battery, 10 to 14 days on average. And I'm severely impressed by that. Now, when it comes to women, my wife uses this little clip. This is one of the accessories that comes with it, and of course this one's actually damaged, and I'll go into that in a minute. But this little clip that comes with it, because the Fitbit is actually just this little guy here, which is just a little module. This is what comes with it, which is a rubber housing that it fits into. You basically fit it in there, and it kind of squeezes itself into the little casing here. It has a little belt clip on it. Now, for women, this works perfect because what actually happens is they can actually clip it to the central strap, little strap between areas in the bra. And so it mounts on the front of them, attaches to the bra, and stays out of their way. So realistically, you really don't see it unless you have like a tight shirt on, or if you have, obviously if you have a specific dress, it could also get in the way as well. But for women, most of the time, for at least my wife, how she wears it every day, she actually straps it to the center part of her bra. Works perfect, because in my situation, and that's what I'm going to get into this, why I have two, this clip, it was also a detriment to me, because as a man, I don't have the bra, so it either goes to my belt, which I've tried. First day I was actually using it on my belt, I popped it out of its housing. It just kind of, basically what happened was something brushed against me when I had it on my belt, popped it out of its housing, so this piece stayed on my belt, this went flying on the floor. Right away I was like, ooh, that's probably not going to work, because I don't want to, obviously if this is still there, I'm going to realize, hey, I can still feel this there, because this guy is going to still push against my skin or something, but then this piece is gone, so it doesn't mean no good. So what I started doing is I started flipping it and attaching it to my pocket, facing inward, just having the clip on the outside of my pocket. Now, that worked, except every so often I would, obviously this is sticking in my pocket, so it's something, if I had something pressed against me and I was carrying or something, I could feel this pushing against it, so I didn't want to hurt the Fitbit that way. But also, if anything, if I'm reaching my hand into my pocket, I could actually kind of slowly pull this out with it. So I didn't really notice that a whole lot, but I had it for that way for about 3, almost 4 weeks in my pocket like that, when all of a sudden one day I was going down, actually get my tires rotated on my car. Went into the place, gave my keys, took my car, ran across the street over to the grocery store, get a couple things for groceries, go back over, pick up the vehicle, and come back home. That night I was looking for it, and I'm like, well, where's my Fitbit? So then I kind of started using the Bluetooth app on my phone, which I'm going to go through as well, trying to locate it. Well, I couldn't locate it anywhere in my house, so I thought, well, it must have popped out at one of the businesses. So the next day I called them. I even went down there and I asked them. They didn't have it, so I'm using my Bluetooth thing in the store. It's obviously not there, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's in the grocery store. So I traced my footsteps over to the grocery store, halfway to the grocery store, right in the curb, basically in an entrance to another parking lot area off a street. There was my little Fitbit, and of course, it got ran over by a car. So here's what one looks like after it got ran over by a car on the street. If I pull it out of its little pouch, that's where you can see where the damage is done, because it's all crushed. Actually, the back door even pops in half. There we go. So you can see this is not on purpose. This is after a car crushed it. So the back panel got smashed by the battery. The battery's completely smashed. If pull it apart even more, pull the wafer board out of here, and you can see how the screen is just completely destroyed. So obviously completely toast, but the fact of the matter was, it wasn't anybody's fault but my own. But at the same time, I see it as an obvious oopsie in my part, because I don't want to just take this little fitness guy and just shove it in my pocket, because then the screen's going to get all done by change or my keys or whatever I have in my pocket at the time. And of course then I don't know, I'd have to fidget around in my pocket to find it. I like having it in this clip, but I'm trying to find a clip that works better than having this nice loose one. So I basically emailed the company saying, hey, I'm probably going to get another one eventually here, but here's what I found with your clip and what I think your problem is and where I think you guys need to go in the future. And maybe the correct way for me is the new wristband one. But at the same time, I don't like wearing a watch most of the time, let alone a watch and a wristband maybe on the other side, so it's not just for me, and probably there are a lot of others out there as well. So anyway, I got correspondence back from them, hey, just send us some pictures of it. So I sent them pictures of all of the device, of course, of the boxing and everything like that, and sent me an email back saying, your new one's on the way. And I was just like, really? I mean, I didn't ask for a new one. I basically was just kind of telling them, hey, here's some design, what I would call a design flaw. But so lo and behold, about a week later, I got the new black one, and they actually asked me what color I even wanted, which was amazing. So customer service already has 2 thumbs up in my opinion for the Fitbit, because of the fact that they took care of the customer even when it was my own fault. Now that's no guarantee saying that they're going to do this every time, but that said, that's amazing customer service. Regardless of who's at fault, they did stick by their customer. Now, obviously when they sent a brand new one in a brand new box, so I have everything doubled up. One of the things, and I'm going to actually go through this right now, what comes with the Fitbit. So there's my story aside. I'm just going to throw that guy over there and not have to worry about it. What comes with the Fitbit? Now obviously when it comes with this guy clipped into here, which what everybody sees at the store. So obviously it comes with the little belt clip that we've already gone through. Flip up the little door in here, and with the Fitbit One thing you're going to notice is that it does track sleep. So with the Fitbit One, it does come with an armband. This armband you could actually use when you're in fitness mode and things like that if you don't have somewhere to clip this bad boy, or during the day if you really, really wanted to. However, it's just basically a little... Basically, you take this little guy and you stuck it in this little pocket, and you can't really read it. You can kind of read it through this mesh pocket, and then you just strap it on your arm like any wristband for that matter. I guess I can pull it out of the package here and kind of show you what it looks like and how it works. This is obviously the brand new one, so we have this little sleeve here. And so here's what it kind of looks like, even with the screen on. You can kind of read it. You can kind of see how 994 steps, whatever, for the day so far. Of course, this has Velcro, so they put this little tape over the Velcro so it doesn't stick to anything in the package. And then if you're sleeping, you actually put it around your wrist of your non-dominant hand. And there we are. And then when you put it into sleep mode so if you have it on here, you actually push and hold, and then a timer will actually start going off. That timer is telling you how long you're sleeping for. Of course, I'm not sleeping, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off by clicking and holding in. So when you wake back up, you push and hold, and then it records, hey, here's how long you slept for. And then it goes back to standard mode. So that's one of the other things that comes with it is the fancy wrist strap. Aside from the little carrying guy here as well, actually I probably should leave that out to show you how the charger works. It also comes with a charger port. Now this is a USB, so if you have a USB adapter, you can just plug this into the USB adapter. I'm going to grab it over here. What I use currently is just my same one I use on a lot of the things, my videos, my little palm adapter, which is just a USB adapter. You just plug that into the USB adapter, and then plug that into the wall, and then you take your Fitbit, and it just snaps into it like so. And then you plug it into the wall, and then of course it charges. And it'll actually have a battery meter on here to tell you how far it's charged. So that's how that works. It also comes with, if you don't have a phone with Bluetooth 4.0 support, because now they support both iPhone and Android for syncing, but at one point it was just the iPhone. It also came with a sync device or sync USB port for your computer. It is USB, plugs into your computer port. You have to download the app from the website, and it syncs to your Fitbit to your computer, straight to your computer. So either way, regardless of how you sync it, it all syncs the same way actually. And that is through their website. So you have to create an online account for your Fitbit, regardless however you're going to use it, because that's how everything gets stored. If you don't want to use their site and you want to use some other service, that's fine, but you will have to use their site in order to sync it, and then you have to connect that site to whatever service you want to do. So that said, and that obviously goes through the quick instructions on how to do it. All right, so that said, let's go through some of the things that this baby can do. So obviously what you've been seeing and what most people do it for is a daily step tracker, which is the main function obviously. It tells me right there I'm at 1,065 steps, which is probably from me jostling it around here on the table. It is very accurate, to be honest. I've tried several other ones as well, and this one seems to be just as accurate as any other one I've tried. It also calculates, based on your steps, your distance. The Fitbit One has a sensor in it that'll actually sense, has an accelerometer that'll actually sense if you're going upstairs. So it can actually track how many flights of stairs you have gone up. It doesn't tell you individual steps, it tells you flights of stairs. So if I go through my menu here, that's how many steps, how many floors I've gone up. I've gone up one flight of stairs today, which actually makes sense. I took my dog down my deck once and back up. So one flight of stairs. From that, it also goes into calories burned. There's the distance. I've traveled half a mile based on my steps. Calories burned, I've burned 1,381 calories just based on my stair climbing as well as my my walking and steps alone. Obviously, it calculates both those separately. So if you're walking up a lot of stairs, you're actually obviously going to burn more calories than if you're just walking. So that's basically what this is all going to calculate. It also gives you a flower tracker to let you know how fit you are actually being, which realistically doesn't really help me, but it also has a clock, so 4:21 p.m. the time, and then back to steps. So that's a real simple way to walk through things with this little button here, and realistically you're going to do most of your stuff through your app or through the website if you're just using your computer. So let's go ahead and get into the app. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's get I'll say a few more things actually. So I talked about what this actually does. Also, what it does, obviously, when I was saying it tracks sleep, it monitors the sleep, and it also times. So it'll actually tell you how much time you've been sleeping. When we're talking about monitoring the sleep, what it's doing when you put it on that non-dominant wrist, while you're sleeping, it actually is tracking your motion. So obviously, if you're restless in your sleep, you're going to move a lot more. So it actually has accelerometers built in here, just like it's tracking your stairs. It's tracking your movement. So the more you move, the more restless you are. The less you move, the more deep of sleep you're getting. So that's what it's really calculating. It's trying to see how good and how high quality sleep you're getting. So with that said, being able to monitor your sleep, you're actually able to see if you want to try different positions when you sleep to see which gives you the higher quality of sleep. If you eat or drink something specific before bed, you could actually see what gives you best sleep. There's a lot of things you could do with it. Or if you just want to, monitor your sleep in general. This is basically what I've been doing because I'm not really I don't think I sleep poorly, but I've been monitoring here. But now I'm actually trying a different app for it as well to see how it compares. Both seem to be given about the same amount. So I just like the alarm feature of my phone. However, with the monitoring the sleep with this guy, there is an alarm you can set that will actually vibrate when you want to wake up. So I'll actually demonstrate that here in just a little bit. Aside from that, let's go ahead and get into the app, actually. So in my phone here, I'll get out of my email, and I'll open up the Fitbit app, which obviously you get out of the App Store with the iPhone, with Android through the Google Play Store. So this is, right now it's syncing. You can see the little syncing window over here. And it's telling me there's my information. And it's obviously going to update here as soon as it actually syncs with my tracker. So that's 1141. That's obviously how many times I've been messing around with this thing as it's sitting on the table. One flight of stairs, you can obviously see, you can actually set goals, things like that. You can even tweet your progress. Same with this. Do the same thing with your steps. Same with calories burned. And then down here with weight, what you can actually do with weight, I actually also have their scale as well, which is going to be a separate video. So I'm not going to really go through the weight here, but you can actually track your weight as well through the app. And down here is just, basically things you can also track. I don't really use the whole water or food stuff myself. So that's something that, obviously if you're into food tracking, that's something you could easily do as well. But within the app, it's pretty simple. You can actually track your activities, log activities right through the app as well. So obviously with here, it's just steps. But if I wanted to log other activities, I can actually hit the plus sign here. The weight, obviously, like I said, this is a different completely thing as well. And I'm going to go into that when we actually go through that piece, I guess. My wife versus me in steps, but that's also a friends feature. And last is things in the setup feed, or more. Obviously, like I said, I don't track food, water, sleep. I'm not really doing an app thing here. I'm more doing my review on the Fitbit itself. But here's a couple of the features you can do. So the silent alarm is one of those features. If I actually want to set, I'm going to create a new alarm. Right now it's 4:25, so I'm going to actually set it for 4:26 p.m. Now I set that right now, it's syncing. It's telling me it's syncing right now. And once it actually syncs, I'm going to make sure that it is synced before it actually turns 4:26 p.m. But this is where you can actually set vibration alarms if you're going to actually use this as a sleep monitor. So it can actually vibrate you awake, which actually is a much better way to wake up than getting woken up by a really, really loud alarm. Being gently woken up is much nicer, I guess, and a much better way to wake up than getting jostled out of your deep sleep really violently by a very loud and annoying alarm. So that's one of those things that I've noticed myself. Let me just go ahead and let that do its thing. You can also go to your account. Devices, these are obviously the two devices. Within the devices is nice because there's my Fitbit right here. I can actually see the battery level. I can actually check battery level, last sync. Sync is now currently in progress. So it looks like I actually missed my deadline for some reason. So I'm going to actually go back and do that again. Set the silent alarm. I'm going to do it for 4:28. That way, hopefully by the time it... Oh, it's actually going off right now. So if you can hear, let me... So it's actually working like it's supposed to. So pretty cool. You can see the alarm feature and everything. It's just vibrating just deet 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 deet, and then it just keeps going until you actually hit the button. And once you hit the button, it's saying, "Oh, yep." You realize, "Hey, I'm trying to wake you up." There we go. And so, in all reality, you could set it for 6 o'clock a.m. Add another one for 6:05. Add another one 6:08. 6:09, 6:10. Just do it every minute until you finally get out of bed. And that way, you make sure you get out of bed. But of course, it's going to go off regardless. So there's no real big snooze feature here. But even you can actually use this during the day. So if you had something that you specifically wanted to alert yourself to during the day. Obviously you can delete them as well just by sliding, just like anything else. So you can actually, if you had something, hey, you want to remind yourself at whatever, I have to take my pill for whatever at 5:30 p.m. You could set that in there so every day it comes on at 5:30 p.m. and then you just get a nice blast every day at 5:30 p.m. So I'm actually going to delete both of those. So back to devices. This is where you can actually obviously see the battery. Also, you can see the last sync like we were talking about. And of course, whether or not you want to use Bluetooth. And then you can add trackers as well. Pretty much, I think you can only have one tracker, one step tracker per account, one weight tracker per account, and of course, if they ever come up with another one, you can actually add it to the app as well. So that's Fitbit. That's the Fitbit app. It's fairly straightforward. These obviously sync. Not only this app syncs to the website, so everything's syncing to the website automatically. So if you use MyFitnessPal, if you use RunKeeper, or anything like that, all those, if you link those accounts together, everything automatically does. So when my wife uses MyFitnessPal, she syncs this, which obviously no, it's going off with my thing again, but she syncs it to her account, and so when she gets the calories burned in here, it automatically syncs to her FitnessPal. When she opens up her FitnessPal on her phone as well, she can see, hey, I can eat, I have this many more calories left that I can actually use today. So the more she walks, the more calories she burns, so the more she could actually eat for supper, things like that. So of course that's getting into things that I really don't personally do, but things that I think help a lot of people. And of course, sitting at 160 72x, I kind of float between 165 and 180 pounds, so depending on what I'm eating, maybe it's a good thing maybe to start. So, but that's the Fitbit app. It's pretty straightforward, and the Fitbit itself is a really nice little device. Like I said, the things that I don't like about it is the clip mechanism. I don't like it because it's really easy to pop out of if you had it sitting on your belt. I've always already seen, if I had it in my pocket, I can obviously automatically lift it out of there as well. So there's a few things that I don't like about it, but if you found a good way to just pop it in your pocket just like this, which maybe is something I'm going to try next, but I just have I'm really reluctant to, because I don't like that loose thing in my pocket. So but right now I'm using a method using the little coin pocket on my other side of my pants, on my right side, and that way it gets it out of the way. It's actually, my hands aren't touching it nonstop. It's a little weird because it's in a section of my pants that I'm not used to, but so far it's actually working the best because it's staying out of my way. It's not going in areas where I'm rubbing things against constantly. So far that's the best way, but only time will tell if that works. Or I should say, only time will tell if it keeps working as good as it has. So that is the Fitbit One, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you enjoyed the review. So there we have it, the Fitbit One. A nice little guy. Now, I don't know, if the sleeping tracking isn't something that, hey, that's getting jiving with you at all, and all that wake up features and things like that, then the little, I think it's called the Fitbit Zip. It's a smaller, it's about, $40 less. That's something that might jive with you better, to be honest. Great, because the Fitbit, I think they have a great little product. It works really well. It lasts a long time on its battery charge. It lets you know, hey, when the battery's dying, to get it charged. It doesn't take very long to charge, even if you only charge it for like an hour, it's pretty well up on the charge. So even if you, what I've been doing is, if it's at night, I'll throw it in the charger before I go to bed and just take it off in the morning, because I don't use it for sleep tracking right now. But if you did want to still use it for sleep tracking, pick a time when you're going to sit down and watch a TV show or a movie, slap it in the charger then, and then after it's done, just pop it back out and stick it back wherever you use it, wherever you place it. So, but great little tracker. I'm highly impressed, but more than that, I'm highly impressed by the company, because their customer satisfaction must be really high, because I had no problems contacting them. They got back with me right away, actually the same day, both times. The first email that I said, hey, this is where I think you've gone wrong. Here's what happened to me. Try to fix that on the next call round. And when they sent back, hey, send us pictures, and then I sent pictures right away. That same day, they actually sent me back, hey, your new one's on the way. So it was like, wow. And then I think the next day, I actually got an email confirmation saying that the unit was in the mail. So fast turnaround. But more than anything, even if they didn't give me one for free, just that quick communication makes me feel like they actually are listening to their customers. I've had too many products where it's you sit and you never hear anything back. And of course, one of the reasons I have an iPhone is because of the customer service. Trying to get a hold of that software support for Android is, you have to go through the forum process. I like to actually talk to an individual, or like in this case, emailing an individual worked really good. So not to get into a whole bias thing like that, but that's the reason I like the Fitbit. There's a lot of other reasons, of course, that I've kind of gone through the video, but it's nice. I've always liked to see what they're coming out in the future, and of course I wear a watch every so often, so if they can actually incorporate this technology into a watch, smartwatches are going to be the next big thing, it seems. So we'll see. Only time will tell if they actually pay attention to what consumers use and want. But pretty nice little product. That said, if you like what you saw, comment right down there. I like to keep track of the comments. If you comment to me directly, I try to respond, and sometimes more on it than others, but I appreciate all my comments. Subscribe to me to the channel above. I appreciate your listening and watching, I guess. And of course, try to support us. We always have advertisements, things like that, but I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate all the fan mail and other items I get. Of course, so thanks for watching, and of course this was the Tech Gooch saying, see you next time.